I'm Michael Artsis. This is NAB 2014. We're here in Sony's booth. Sony has a really awesome new camera. It's small, it's lightweight, it's compact, yet full frame, mirrorless, and 4K.
Absolutely. So at this show, we introduced the new Sony A7s. So the A7s is an expansion of our A7 lineup. The A7 lineup, if you're not familiar, is actually a series of cameras that Sony has that are mirrorless cameras that use a full 35mm frame sensor, which makes it the world's smallest and lightest autofocus full frame camera ever made. So it gives you professional quality and something that you can literally carry around with you at all times. But what makes the A7s unique is that it was built for videographers and still photographers alike. It uses a 12 megapixel sensor, and at that 12 megapixels, when you crop it down to 16:9, it's 8.3 million pixels, which is the native 4K resolution. So this makes it the world's largest 4K acquisition sensor in the world.
And you have no line skipping or anything like that because of that.
What's great about this is that since it's 8.3, no line skipping, no pixel binning, giving you unbelievable tonal range, dynamic range, and unbelievable high ISO performance as well.
So on board you can record 1920 by 1080 full HD, and then to get 4K, you spit it out to an external recorder over HDMI to either an Odyssey Q7, possibly an Aja Quad Key Pro, and of course the new Atomos Shogun monitor recorder.
Yep, so internal you're going to have full XAVCS HD, so 24p, 30p, 60p, and you can even do 120p at 720. And that's all going to be at 50 megabits per second. And internal you're going to get 8-bit 420 S-Log2. So when you do in 4K, you're going to go output, you're going to get 8-bit 422 S-Log at full 4K at 24 or 30p.
Very nice. And you can see it's a very small footprint. It's a really great footprint. Yep. Can you get an audio in? Can I get my microphone in there at all? How about headphone jack?
Yep. So you can have the best audio, you can have the best video in the world, but if you don't have audio, what's your video going to look like? So one unique thing that we have is that Sony used to have the old Minolta dovetail shoe, but we updated it to an ISO standard shoe, but it does have pin connections inside that you can actually attach our XLR adapter to, so you can get real XLR high quality uncompressed audio as well.
And does it have a headphone jack for monitoring?
Headphone jack and mic jack inside the camera, and audio level controls built into the camera itself.
Wow-wee. That's all I can say about that. I love the XLR inputs. That sounds amazing. What are we looking at for this camera as far as delivery? Are we looking a couple months, you think?
Right now there's no delivery date, but hopefully sooner than later because we're all excited, including myself. So
yeah, I would say maybe a couple months. How long does the battery last on it?
Battery last for stills right now, it's going to give you about 400 shots, and for video about an hour and a half of internal recording.
Excellent. And I noticed that because it's the E-mount, there are a bunch of adapters out there, so not only can you put Sony's glass on it, but you can also adapt a lot of other glass to it as well.
Absolutely. E-mount actually the E stands for 18, and 18 being 18 millimeters from flange back to sensor, making it one of the shallowest flange back distances out there. So you can adapt PL, you can adapt Canon EF, like you said, Nikon, anything that you can really think of, you can adapt to this system. But one unique thing is that we also, even though it's an E-mount and the NEX7 that we used to have, the A6000 are E-mounts, but they're made for APS-C, we did create a series of lenses for this called the FE mount, so a full frame E-mount. We have 5 lenses now. We're going to come out with more lenses this year. We actually are showing a cinema lens for E-mount here for full frame. It's a 28 to 135, constant aperture f4, stepless apertures. So you're going to go stepless iris for that matter. And that'll be coming out this year as well. So we're going to be continuously expanding the lineup of full-frame E-mount lenses.
Excellent. I mean, there's a lot of buzz about this camera here, and now that I see it, I think it's rightfully so. Yep. What other great products does Sony have out on the market and is it announcing here at NAB?
For here at the NAB, this is the product that we're announcing. This is the big buzz. Over the last couple of months, we introduced the AX100, which is the first 4K handheld internal recording of 4K, 1-inch sensor. It's a great product. That's here. We announced that at CES. And we also have the A6000 that we announced over at CES, and that's actually shipping next week, so we're pretty excited about that. And that has the world's fastest autofocus of any interchangeable lens camera at 12 frames a second continuous shooting as well. So.
And of course you've got on the higher end, you've got the F5, the F65, and the F55, the F65 being the big dog on that pile.
Yeah, you definitely have the big guys here as well. I mean, there's really nothing like the F65s and F55s. You have a few new firmware updates as well, giving you a few new codecs on the big guys. So I encourage you guys to check it out.
And as far as Sony glass, I think a lot of people don't know that much, but I see there's so many lenses, and there's so many different, you know, you have a bunch of different zoom ranges and stuff. You've got some serious glass. I think a lot of times people think, oh, the second I get this, I have to buy the adapter, but you really could stick with Sony glass.
So one good thing about Sony, when we started the ILC business, interchangeable lens business, in 2006, we bought out Minolta and their imaging company. So one of the purposes of that is that we were able to take over the Minolta lens manufacturing, which was known as some of the best manufacturing of lenses in the market. So not only do we still have that manufacturing, but we do make some of the highest end glass in partnership with Zeiss. So they design some of our glass, and they actually have engineers in our factories in which we make it in Japan. So we have over 54 lenses that'll work on this camera that we make on our own. We have adapters to adapt our A-mount system, which is our older mirrored camera lenses, to our new E-mount system. So you're going to be able to have 85, 1.4, 135 f2 with full autofocus, full control. Even if you have older Minolta lenses from, let's say, 1984 that don't have any internal mechanics, you can use that on these cameras and be able to get full autofocus.
Full autofocus in video?
In video, so you can get full tracking autofocus in this camera. One thing I actually forgot to mention, good thing you mentioned it, since the camera is so sensitive to light, it actually has a focusing system that's capable down to -4 EV, which is one of the most capable focusing systems out there. So you'll be able to do continuous recording in candlelight, in video, and in stills.
With continuous focus?
Continuous focus.
That's really impressive. And I've heard that the ISO goes all the way up to hundreds of thousands.
409,600 ISO. So it's one of the most sensitive, best low-light cameras that money can buy.
Very, very impressive. You can adapt other glass to it, or check out Sony glass. And if you have Sony glass, you're already in business. Obviously, they've got a lot of nice lenses. It is the A7S, the big splash here at NAB 2014. We got to check it out. We got all the info on it, the intel. It'll be great to see what it's like and how it performs and get it in our hands in just a few months when it comes out. I'm Michael Artsis. This is Michael Bubolo from Sony. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more coverage from NAB 2014. Be terrific.